The Pittsburgh Steelers entered the 2026 offseason with a clear and calculated strategy. Accumulate as much draft capital as possible in anticipation of what many believed would be a quarterback-rich draft class. At the time, the logic was sound. Quarterbacks drive the modern NFL, and having multiple picks in a class expected to feature elite talent at the position would give Pittsburgh the flexibility to either draft a potential franchise cornerstone or leverage those assets in trades. However, as the pre-draft process unfolded, it became increasingly evident that the 2026 class did not live up to the early hype, particularly at quarterback. What once appeared to be a golden opportunity to secure the future under center has instead evolved into a scenario where the Steelers must pivot, and perhaps even benefit, from the unexpected. Rather than being locked into a quarterback-focused strategy, Pittsburgh now finds itself in a position of remarkable versatility. With a total of 12 picks in the 2026 NFL Draft, the organization has more ammunition than most teams in the league. This surplus of draft capital opens the door to countless possibilities, from trading up for elite prospects to packaging picks for future assets or simply stockpiling young talent across multiple positions. General Manager Omar Khan has been at the center of this strategic evolution, demonstrating both patience and aggression as he navigates the complexities of roster building in a highly competitive conference. Khan's approach throughout the offseason has already signaled that the Steelers are not content with merely maintaining their status. They are actively seeking to improve and contend in 2026. The front office has utilized available salary cap space sufficiently, addressing key weaknesses through free agency and trades. These moves have had a direct impact on how analysts and pundits view Pittsburgh's draft strategy. Positions that were once considered urgent needs, such as wide receiver, safety, and interior offensive line, have been partially addressed, allowing the team to approach the draft with a more flexible mindset. Despite these additions, one position continues to stand out as an area of concern: left guard. While the Steelers currently have internal options such as Spencer Anderson and Brock Hoffman, neither has firmly established himself as a definitive starter. This uncertainty has led many draft analysts to project Pittsburgh selecting a guard in the first round, particularly with their pick at number 21. Strengthening the offensive line would not only improve pass protection but also enhance the team's running game, which remains a critical component of their offensive identity. One of the most frequently mentioned prospects in connection with the Steelers is Olavavega-Ione out of Penn State. Widely regarded as one of the most NFL-ready interior linemen in the 2026 class, Ione has impressed scouts with his combination of size, technique, and football intelligence. In fact, prominent draft analyst Mel Kiper Jr. recently projected Ione to Pittsburgh in his latest mock draft, further fueling speculation that the Steelers could prioritize immediate impact over long-term development with their first-round selection. However, the intrigue surrounding Pittsburgh's draft strategy does not end with pick number 21. According to NFL.com analyst Eric Edholm, the Steelers could explore a bold trade scenario involving the Seattle Seahawks. In this hypothetical deal, Pittsburgh would acquire the 32nd overall pick, the final selection of the first round, by sending a package that includes a second-round pick, a third-round pick, number 76, and additional selections in the 5th and 6th rounds. Notably, all of these assets would come from the 2026 draft, allowing the Steelers to preserve their valuable picks in 2027. The potential acquisition of a second first-round pick would be a game-changer for Pittsburgh. Not only would it provide an opportunity to add another high-caliber prospect, but it would also align with the organization's broader goal of getting younger and more cost-efficient. Following the 2025 season, the Steelers were ranked as one of the oldest teams in the league, with their defense in particular carrying both the highest average age and one of the largest salary commitments. Infusing the roster with young, talented players on rookie contracts would help balance the financial structure while ensuring long-term sustainability. If the Steelers were to secure pick number 32, the range of possibilities would expand even further. One intriguing option mentioned by Edholm is Jordan Tyson from Arizona State. Tyson is considered one of the more dynamic receiving prospects in the draft, known for his speed, route running ability, and playmaking potential. While some analysts believe he may be selected earlier, the idea of Pittsburgh targeting a wide receiver at the end of the first round remains compelling. At first glance, selecting a receiver might seem redundant given the team's recent acquisition of Michael Pittman Jr. from the Indianapolis Colts. Pittman's arrival has already elevated the receiving corps, providing a reliable and physical presence in the passing game. However, the modern NFL places a premium on depth and versatility at the position. Adding another talented receiver would not only create competition but also ensure that the offense has multiple weapons capable of making an impact. This approach aligns with a broader philosophy that the Steelers appear to be embracing, building a well-rounded roster that can adapt to different situations and opponents. Rather than focusing on a single position of need, Pittsburgh is in a position to select the best player available, regardless of position. This flexibility is a direct result of the front office's proactive efforts during the offseason, which have mitigated many of the team's most pressing concerns. Another important factor to consider is the long-term outlook at quarterback. With the uncertainty surrounding Aaron Rodgers and the development of young signal caller Will Howard, the Steelers must think beyond the immediate future. While the 2026 draft may not offer a clear franchise quarterback, the team's abundance of picks could be used to acquire future assets, including selections in the 2027 draft. This would position Pittsburgh to make a move in a potentially stronger quarterback class down the line. Alternatively, the Steelers could choose to maximize their current draft capital by selecting multiple high-impact players in 2026. This strategy would focus on strengthening the overall roster, creating a solid foundation that would support whichever quarterback ultimately leads the team in the future. By investing in positions such as offensive line, wide receiver, and defense, Pittsburgh can ensure that it remains competitive regardless of who is under center. The importance of youth and depth cannot be overstated in today's NFL. Injuries, roster turnover, and the demands of a long season require teams to have reliable contributors at every position. The Steelers' ability to add multiple young players through the draft would not only address immediate needs but also provide valuable depth for years to come. This is particularly crucial for a team that has relied heavily on veteran players in recent seasons. Ultimately, the 2026 NFL Draft represents a unique opportunity for the Pittsburgh Steelers. What began as a plan centered around securing a quarterback has evolved into a chance to reshape the roster in a more comprehensive way. With 12 picks at their disposal, the Steelers have the flexibility to pursue a variety of strategies, each with its own potential benefits. Whether it's selecting a plug-and-play guard like Olovavega-Ione, trading up for an additional first-round pick, targeting a dynamic receiver like Jordan Tyson, or accumulating future assets, the possibilities are virtually endless. The key for Pittsburgh will be to make calculated decisions that align with both their short-term goals and long-term vision. As the draft approaches, one thing is certain: the Steelers are in a position of strength. Their stockpile of picks, combined with a proactive front office led by Omar Khan, gives them a significant advantage over many of their competitors. If they can successfully navigate the draft and capitalize on their opportunities, the foundation for sustained success could be firmly established. In the end, the responsibility falls on the Steelers' leadership to ensure that this wealth of resources is utilized effectively. The decisions made during the 2026 NFL Draft will have a lasting impact on the franchise, shaping its trajectory for years to come. With careful planning, strategic execution, and a bit of boldness, Pittsburgh has the potential to turn this moment into a defining chapter in its storied history. Thanks for watching and see you soon.